I made the trip out to Nashville because I met these guys when I was at PRI and I got to drive on their sim. And it was the most immersive, insane sim I've ever been on. And that was their 4DOF. This has the 4 hydraulic points on it, and it just gets so much movement and so much real feel with actually being in the car that I've never experienced anything like it. And so these guys at Podium 1 are 100% just changing the game. They work with the absolute best components from around the world, from Ace-Attack to Forte to these new Simicube pedals, which are adjustable not only in the throw but the feel and everything. So all of these units use these new electronic style pedals where you can drive in exactly how much force, how much throw that they all have. These steering wheels, I mean, look at these things. You got all the information out here. You got obviously the rev limiter, you have all your controls, you can do your brake bias. So the whole overall package, obviously very clean, very elite. And this has, you know, you got a little step pad here, climb on up, hop in, Recaro Podium seat, of course. But yeah, just this overall feeling like you are just 100% in the game. So we're in a Radical at Road America. We're just gonna take it on a quick little lap here. So hop in. And so with that, I didn't even have the seatbelts on. The seatbelts will actually tighten as you brake, and the whole unit moves and it's pivoting and just gives you all that braking and acceleration and G-force feeling that you're looking for. But the big unit that they have going now is this guy, designed by Driven Dynamics. It's exclusive with Podium 1, and this is a fully suspended 6-position simulator that gives you, I don't even know how else to describe it. It's the most immersed sim I've ever seen. So I'm going to show you guys this one real quick. And so see, the crazy part about this thing, so you have the seat belts here and you got this huge drive motor that's pulling on these belts. And over here, you have your controls. You got your motion control, your motion smoothness, the haptic, which is in the seat. It gives you the vibration of the shifts and things like that. And you have your belt dynamics and the belt static. Also your wind. They have a fan up here, so as you're building speed, it starts to blow more air into your face and just gives you more and more of that feeling. So even has handbrake. They have an H pattern shifter for if you drive it that way. This one was set up as a paddle shift. And so once again, just make it lost for words. You get like so pulled into it when you're racing and you come out and you need like a second or two to reset and actually know what is happening. Again, you're coming back to real life. It's just like a race car, like jumping right out of a race car. You know, you kind of gotta like settle yourself down before you can like have a conversation again. And it's the same feeling with these sims because they're so realistic and they can be such a training device. You know, this is so much more than just a toy and for fun and have your friends come over and jump on. This is 100% the way that you can train to be a better driver. And I've already known that. I've known that sims can help you. It's more than a toy, but the more and more advanced that these sims become, the better the training experience can be. So like this unit is $175,000. This is the one of one, the only one that exists in this capacity. The six DOF, the 4 DOF, those come in between like 50 to 80,000 depending on your add-ons, your screens and everything else. So it definitely does get costly. But then again, you know, people will spend, you know, so much more on a car, and even to run them at the track, you're spending a couple $1,000s a weekend just to take them out. So the fact that you can jump on this at any time and just log hours, log laps, and just learn to be a better driver, have more control, drive in different cars, drive on other tracks all around the world at any time is insane. You know, it's such a cool overall feeling. Insane. Belts. So, I'll show you guys a quick lap on that thing. Not my best lap. Got a GoPro in my mouth. Can't really see right. But yeah, this is just totally insane experience. These guys just have it so figured out. Just having all these different style units. We got this gentleman here riding in Road America in a Porsche GT3 car. And yeah, I mean, outside of that, outside of all these incredible sims and everything that Podium is doing here, they have just a genuine enthusiasm for cars themselves, right? So this is one of the owners, Radical. They take that out and they go racing. And then this is the other part of their business, Exotic Autosport, where they are maintaining, building, storing, and prepping all these cars, not only for themselves, but also for customers, and getting them, whether they're street cars, you know, I don't know how often these GTs are going out to the track, but they have all these different cars that are either just for some street use or heavy track use, which is really cool. So these guys have so much going on, like I said, outside of just building the sims, because once again, the correlation and the tie-in from the sims to real life is there, especially with what Podium 1 is doing, because it's not just a steering wheel strapped to your desk and a monitor in front of you. It's like you're in it. Like I said, like you can kind of tell when I hop off the thing and start trying to talk to you guys that I can't even get a sentence out, because it's like I'm trying to reset myself from being in that race mode, right? It pulls you in. It makes you feel like you're actually out there racing the car. So yeah, what these guys are doing is absolutely top notch. Like, this is the most premium sim product I've ever seen. Not only do they have this great big amazing display, but they have everything in-house. They stock all the components in-house. They work with all these different companies. Ace Tech is one of their biggest partners that they work with, that provide the steering wheels and a lot of the other units, the drive motors. And then as you get over here, you start to see some more of the equipment. You know, you got the seats, you got other pedals, you got shifters, more steering wheels, and then all these components that go into building the actual sim rigs. So all of this stuff is their in-house inventory. And they were telling me about how they buy so much bulk at a time to make sure they have all the equipment here so they can build these units in-house and get them shipped out. The last thing that they told me was they have 80 units on order. So they have up to 80 units that they are on back order right now that they're building and getting ready to ship out. So the fact that they have so much inventory and production happening here is just incredible. So this is a 56,000 square foot building and it is packed. And so all these sims are being built and then tested and then broken down and then shipped out. And so everything from, you know, like here's one of the more simple units, but this one's being set up for, looks like a little bit of aviation, which is awesome. That's another entirely different program that they're starting to get into. Here's a 6 DOF that's getting ready to go out, which is, you know, their top notch. Oh, this one also has some aviation on it. Look at this, so freaking cool. And so even down to, you know, some more of the budget friendly style, for those of you that still want to get a system, you know, the triple monitor, hands down, makes a difference, because it's what breaks your peripheral vision so you don't get that distraction when you're getting in the sim. You want to hit me with like 2 minutes on this thing?
Yes.
So this is Chandler, one of the co-founders of Podium 1.
What's going on, guys?
Yeah.
It's a work in progress. About 3 hours ago.
It looks like it's up and running.
Yeah, right.
I know, I'm a little late. You showed me when I was running, but I had to get it before I left.
$40,000 panel for a Vision Jet SF50 made by Real Sim Gear. However, our client wanted a traditional G3000 avionics setup for a Honda Jet. So we just got new screens that came in. So in about maybe an hour or so, the avionics will be up here with the hotkeys. We have the full touchscreen for the G3000. Stream Deck controls the PC. Right now, we're doing a custom ventilation that we'll be able to control in the cockpit with the OEM knob. Auto throttle, so this thing actually moves by itself. So is the trim wheel, all motorized. And so this will have every function of the aircraft for Honda Jet. And so we're working on spoilers or speed brakes right now and a couple other things, and just trying to get it ready for delivery in a couple of weeks for the customer.
That's insane. Yeah, so like I said, I'm a little late to the party. You did have the monitors up here a little bit ago, but so this is a 6 DOF.
Yep.
And I saw that you have some aviation components on these as well. Like, how interchangeable is it to go between racing and yeah?
No way. It would be impossible. Like,
well, I'm saying that this one has.
But this one does.
Yeah, this one you can.
Okay, so
yeah.
This is what we call our HOTAS system, or it's really just a HOTAS system. So you have the joystick, you have the aircraft throttle, and then those brake and clutch actually are fully electronically adjustable. So you can actually program them to be rudder pedals or anti-torque pedals for helicopter. And so someone like this that's spending a lot of money on a racing simulator, having the flight stuff just gives them a whole nother use case for a sim that they spend a lot of money on. But this is not a flight sim. It's just a can-do flight. So like, you know, say you're gonna shift and e-brake, this thing just unscrews. There's no impedance. This over here, so you wanna get in. There's not a nice little door here. And so we really thought through everything. And I would say probably 80% of our racing sims have flight on it. But then this over here,
that's a whole different one. Yeah, this is changing the game.
Yeah, some people are like, oh, you know, can I swap the panel over to this? I'm like, dude, maybe in 40 hours you probably could. So yeah, that's kind of the gamut between the racing with the flight and the full flight.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was showing everybody the the sim setup over here, but yeah, I just wanted to do a little walkthrough of the production, and then obviously seeing some of the like I said, a little late to see what that one looked like all together. Is that the only one, the first one you guys did, or?
No, we've done, like, we have that G6 Cirrus SR22 cockpit.
Okay, yeah, here's the cockpit. Let's go.
On a motion platform for a Cirrus training school that came to visit and test them, and so
Yeah, here we go.
Going, yep. This will end up going just like you saw on the G3000. So this is the G1000, but the SR22 they call it Perspective Plus, where they essentially modify the Garmin G1000 to be specific to the SR22. So this is the G6 version of the SR22, and then we've got 4 of the G7s that we're building right after this. So
This is so wild.
something too I want to point out. I don't know if you showed
Let's see it.
this. And this is just getting started. This whole thing will be full of wiring. This is why people get turnkeys from us. Our team quite literally spends hours per rig making sure everything is neat and tidy. Now, this is a non-motion system, so there's going to be a lot less motion.
Yeah, this is a more budget-friendly setup, but yeah, you can tell it's the quality is there.
With D-Box.
Super clean.
We have these mid-process right now, getting all the wiring. And so the goal for us is that if someone wants to modify their sim, say a year down the road, or let's just say, which honestly, I don't know, maybe happened once, a D-Box actuator goes bad. They're perfectly able to swap it because everything was wired to be, quick connects, everything's labeled. And so for us, it's just making sure that the customer gets something that...
So nice.
Dude, when these things are done, you'll see just the most perfect wiring job in it.
Oh, that's how I get down. Yeah. If we don't have our wires all nice and tidy, like.
So even like these Cubic systems, they come from Cubic in Poland, wired up. And Drew here, and probably sometime tomorrow, I imagine, he'll have all this unwired, loomed, and then labeled.
Wow.
So we're actually redoing work just to make sure it's done, up to specs.
Amazing. Yeah, so Cubic, that is the brand that makes this base, the motion base.
Yep. And this Cubic actually is a fairly large company. Their main parent company is called Motion Systems. They make all the actuators for like movie sets. So like they've seen pictures. They have like literally a 737 airplane with all the wings on it on a giant one of these that will be, they'll shoot movies.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. So it's like it's the trickle down effect. Yeah.
100%.
Very cool.
It's all the consumer version, but it's honestly over engineered. This thing's bulletproof.
That's awesome, man. No, thank you for the quick little tour, man. Yeah, no problem, man. Definitely looking forward to getting one of these out of the shop to continue to practice my road racing because I do really enjoy it. And the sim has 100% helped me with that. I mean, if I didn't have those laps logged at Laguna Seca before we went out in those rush cars, there's no way I would have qualified third with all of those veterans. So the ability for me to jump into a car I'd only raced once before and go out and qualify third 2 days in a row within a 10th of Blair, the Stig, the Rush Stig, I should say, who is the guy that always qualifies first. I was within a 10th of him. And so to be able to keep up with those guys, and he has, I don't know, thousands of hours logged in those rush cars. And, my sim driving, my sim training, even just for those couple weeks leading up to that race is 100% the reason why I was able to keep up with him out there and push him to the front. So once again, just the more immersion, is that a word? the more immersive the sim, the better the training, hands down. So, obviously you got to start somewhere. You got to work within your price points, but 100% highly recommend anybody to get a sim if you want to take racing to the next level. Like I was saying, any car, any track, any day of the week. How else can you do that?